Welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave and another different type of video this morning. A nice little relaxed morning as I just took a shower, so I smell really good. Well, we're going to talk about the Moving Average Convergent Divergence Indicator, or MACD as everyone calls it. The good old MACD. What is this about? And let's get on to the overview over here. This is what we'll be talking about. And without further ado, a very short video, short and sweet, but you know what? Just like with anything, we need an introduction. The Moving Average Convergence Divergence, or MACD, is a 12 EMA, exponential moving average, plotted against a 26 EMA, with a histogram showing the difference in the background. A very simple but effective tool, as always best used in confluence with our other technical analysis tools. While the basic use is commonly touted, true mastery over the MACD is with analyzing the momentum and the divergence traits, which we'll be talking about in just a moment. And of course, as always, I want to be aware that the MACD is a lagging indicator, meaning it tells us, it tells us what we already know essentially. Just like basically any indicator, they're all derived from price, volume, and time. So of course, I always want to say, hey, indicators are sexy, they're cool, but there's, technically speaking, nothing that you don't see in the actual basic charts themselves that aren't represented in the indicator. So I want to begin this conversation with, before getting into this next slide on the common use, say that, hey, the common use where everyone just kind of thinks of, which I'm referring to right over here, or so we'll get to that in just a second, of just, hey, when you get a cross, you buy or you sell, depending upon which way it crosses. Well, that's actually... It actually does work in a very basic sense, but we're going to be talking about some much more advanced ways to use it, as that really is where the true mastery in this indicator lies. So without further ado, I want to introduce the setup and inputs. So this is one of the few tools that I actually believe the default settings is best to roll with. However, making the signals more visibly apparent is always a key. Me being a visual person, well, I can understand that, people have different, different things that they look for over there. Oops, get rid of that on the chart. And over here, you can see that I got my MACD over here. It's just the default guy in the public library. Just type in MACD, it'll pop up right there. And then as you can see, I have hit the gear icon right here. I have not changed any of the lengths, 12 and a 26, but I have changed the style. I've made the histogram nice and thick, which is exactly what I need. Sounds terrible. Then we have the MACD and then the signal. So the MACD is going to be represented by the cyan, and the signal will be represented by the purple-ish color. Made those a little bit thicker as well. Okay, back onto the good old slides over here. And the common use. All right, so the most common way to using the MACD is by analyzing the cross of the 12 and the 26 exponential. A cross of the 12 to the upside of the 26 EMA is considered a buy, and a cross of the 12 to the downside of the 26 EMA is considered a sell. Now, I really can't be more aggressive enough in saying, hey, this is not the way that I use the MACD. This is not the way that anyone who actually uses this tool probably uses it, or if they're making money, they probably don't use it this way. Or at least I'm going to hazard a guess on that. However, it does have some validity, but I feel like it's just for thoroughness of explanation, kind of have to go over this sort of thing. So let's go see how that works out in practicality. All right, so again, I'm just looking for when the cyan crosses the upside of the purple, that's considered a buy. When the cyan crosses the downside of the purple, that's considered a sell. And over here on the daily, which is admittedly a higher time frame, you do have, it ain't too bad. It actually ain't too bad, admittedly. You get some pretty damn good signals, right here. They ain't perfect. They're not perfect for sure. But they tell you to buy right here, and it tells you to sell right here. Not bad. I mean, you don't get the whole move, but that's trading, that's trading. And do you need to get the whole move to be happy? Well, you tell me. I mean, that's nice. That's a nice $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 move. Not bad. Then it tells you to sell right here, right around 19,000. Actually, almost getting the top for you, pretty much. And tells you to, and actually crosses up over here, actually around 16 to 17,000. But it's a little bit of a fake out. So you'll see there are ways certainly around this. So again, it is not perfect, and this is certainly not the way that I want to espouse of using this tool. By the same token, you do time some pretty damn good buys, though. Don't get me wrong. It's giving you a buy signal right here, a sell signal right here. So it's not perfect, is my point. It's certainly not perfect, and this is a gross underuse of this tool. Although the higher time frame that you do go, it kind of gets a little bit more smoother and smoother. So it tells you to sell right here, and then it tells you to buy over here. You know, a little bit better. So the higher the time frame, the better. 3-day, same sort of thing. You know, just 1 degree more. Weekly is actually just showing a little bit of green down here. And that's all well and good. And yes, it does work on the lower time frames. Even if I go down here to like the 10-minute, you'll notice that, hey, you know, it tells you to buy right here. But this was a little bit of a breakout. It tells you to sell right here. So it's gonna get the easy ones, gonna get the obvious ones relatively well. What it's not going to do well in is consolidation. I mean, it tells you to buy right here. It tells you to sell right. I mean, it's just, you know, it's not really helping too much. It's going to be whipped around pretty easily by this sorts of sideways price action. So always want to talk about the disadvantages of using a tool like this, or perhaps the limitations is a better word. All right, so back onto our lovely slide, and let's get into the more advanced uses right here. All right, the writing gets smaller now, doesn't it? As always, the more advanced strategy with regards to MACD comes down to an analysis of divergence and momentum. The histogram is what we'll first be talking about, and that gives a clear signal of the actual momentum of this indicator by displaying the change of slope. So it's essentially telling us the difference between the signal and the MACD, essentially. As price action moves around, the histogram will display if the move is gaining or losing momentum, thus giving a signal that there is a strong entry or exit. So this is our first more advanced way of using this. Now, if in just traditional divergence, it's the same sort of logic applies. So if you're familiar with divergence from the RSI module, if you're familiar with the if you're familiar with divergence from stochastics, that this sort of same logic applies is what I want to say. So don't let this, you know, kind of trip you out. It's quite literally the same sort of idea over here. On the histogram, if it creates a lower highs corresponding with a level above the zero plot, it is indicating a sell or a loss of momentum, perhaps is a better way of putting it. If it's creating higher highs corresponding with a level above the zero plot, well, then that's actually indicating that the move is still accelerating. It's still alive, so to say, to the upside. By the same token, if it's creating higher lows corresponding with a level below the zero plot, well, that's technically speaking telling you that the momentum is waning and to the downside. Therefore, it's easier to be bought into, indicating perhaps a buy. And if it's creating lower lows corresponding with a level below the zero plot, it is indicating the move is still accelerating to the downside, i.e., it's still alive. It's still, you know, if you're in a short position, it's still you know, finding its lows, so to say, or still like in the moment. So let's go look at how that kind of plays out on over here. And again, if you're not familiar with this term down here, this green background is your histogram. And again, don't even let that scare you. It's just quite literally the difference displayed in a graph of the difference between your MACD and your signal right here. That's all it is. That's quite literally all it is. Okay, so let's go look. I see plenty of examples of everything over here. You have a clear example of bullish divergence over a long period of time down here. As I find that we create higher low, higher low, higher low, 3 drives, the classic 3 drives, and look at that. It actually does get your bottom pretty damn well. Pretty damn well. Let's see. Over here, we have a loss of momentum. We are creating lower highs right here. Boom, you're getting a higher high in price action, but a lower high in the histogram telling you that, hey, this move is losing its momentum, therefore easier to be sold into. And well, you do time a pretty damn nice down move all the way for about $10,000. Not bad at all. That's the beauty of Bitcoin being like $20,000. You know, a small signal like that gives you a cool $10,000. Not bad at all. Okay. See if we can find some more examples, as that's always a good idea. And let's see. Trying to find some good ones over here. Now, where else do we have? Maybe we have to go back in time a little bit over here. Or maybe, you know what we can do? We can go to like a 2-hour. Okay, because we can always look at the lower time frames. Yes, it does apply to lower time frames as well. And as you can see right here, in this consolidation right here, this sideways movement right here, you were once again creating higher lows on your histogram, correlating with higher, kind of like a slightly, well, they were higher lows on the price action as well, so it's a little bit of an unfair one, but it was telling you that the move was losing momentum to the downside, but technically not divergence by the definition of it, to be quite clear. What else do we have over here? Well, let's see. Let's see. We're making higher highs over here. No, you are not. No, you are not. You're making a higher high right there, and you are losing momentum. Look at that. You do crawl your way over here. In fact, you know, about the same, but again, that is divergence by the definition of it, because divergence, you know, you're getting a higher high in price action, but it's telling you that the same momentum took you there, i.e., again, the same sort of logic is saying, hey, if you got there on even less, on the same or a little bit less momentum, well, it's just going to be easier to be sold into because price action is a little bit higher. See if we can find another one, right? Oh, we have even one. We have like one within one, right? Higher low right here on your MACD and lower low on price action between right here and right here. And I should be plotting this out right here as well. There you go. And to plot out the one that we just saw prior was this guy right here. Higher high. Now we have lower low corresponding with higher, like ever so slightly higher low right here. I'm gonna get rid of these one more time. And let's see, we probably have one, I'm going to guess somewhere around here. Yes, we do. So we got, let me just plot this out. We got lower low going from here to here. And what do we have over here? We have higher low, or about the same, you know, but again, that is, I mean, it's ever so slightly higher low. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, but it's telling us the same thing. So an artist's interpretation is always needed in this sort of thing. So I'm going to take these guys off, and you know what? We're going to get to the next advanced use. Slope analysis. All right, so this one's a little bit more left of center, something that people don't talk too much when it comes to MACD, but we're going to go through a little bit of a mind-blowing thing. All right. So when we spoke about before, when you get the crosses of the EMA against the signal, every time that happens, I'm not necessarily saying that it's a buy or sell, but what I do want to be doing, as you see over here, is I want to plot a trend line between these sorts of things. So let's go back to the daily. It's going to be easy to see on the daily over here. And let's go, yeah, let's do the easy example. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit over here. You can see that, hey, you're getting some positive crosses right here. I mean, this is a little bit difficult to see, but you see one right here, you see one right here, you see one right here. Okay, cool. All right, so that was right there, right there, right there. Okay, so we can plot a guy like that, right? Plot a guy like that, and we can extend it further. Okay, but we also have, but when we really start accelerating over here, we really have this guy, as you can see. So let's go these two and plot this one out. Whoops, let's bring that back up and extend this out. And I think this one's going to give us what we need to see over here. And, well, you know, if you want to do one more, you can say you do have a cross right here. You do have a cross right there. So you actually could make this one as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. So A, B, C, basically. You can just A, B, C it out. Okay, so what are we looking for over here? Okay, back to the slides. Now, when the price action breaks that trend line, then a trade against it is executionable. Now, with the caveat that you're actually crossed down in the same direction of that trade. So for the purposes of this one, if you're going to be breaking an uptrend line, well, I want to see MACD also crossed down against it as price action breaks. That is confluence. That is what I'm looking for over here. And let's see how this one plays out. So we got, let's use the obvious one right here. We got this guy, and you break the trend line right here, but it also correlates with a cross on your MACD. Ah, very interesting. And look at that. You time yourself a fucking phenomenal trade. Look at that. All the way down here. Okay, before you really don't even get a buy signal on this until right around here, actually. Okay, where's your next one? Let's look at this one right here. You have, you know, let's kind of zoom in over here. So you're connecting, so you got this low, and you're driving it up all the way over here. Well, look at this. Once you break this trend line, it's actually just more confluence because, you know, you would have seen this one likely as well, I'm going to imagine. I'm just going to make the assumption on that one. And you can see that we actually crossed down here as well, pointed down. The MACD is telling you that it's actually gaining momentum to the downside as it does break this trend line and then make this new, you know, accelerating momentum. And then we got this this guy down here, all the way from way back when. Just zoom in so we can, you know, confirm, hey, you did get a cross right here. Good. I like that. And you can see that that comes all the way over here. And so we never really even break it. But hey, over here, you do break it. And look at that. You're crossed down. You're opened up to the downside. And what do you know? You time a pretty damn good trade to make light of it. So again, that's going to do it for this MACD introduction. A little bit of a quick video. Again, I hope that this video finds you well in the series of technical analysis tools that I've been kind of uploading over here. Definitely check out the other modules, the other quick videos on the RSI, stochastics, and the top 3 scalping ways that I encourage, or at least that I use myself is what I should say. Of course, I always want to say there will be more videos coming along the way. So if you haven't already, definitely think about, or definitely consider liking and subscribing. Of course, you never have to, but hey, I've been getting a lot of people ask me what's the best way to get notified of the live streams, if you're familiar with my channel from the live streams, or for more of these videos like this. Well, definitely hit the bell icon. That'll help you for that. And of course, subscribe as well. And I also want to remind you that if you're interested in more material like this, I do have it's getting near 30 hours now, technical analysis program. The link to that is in the description of this video if you're interested in something like that. Again, major investment with both time and finances with that. But hey, if you're the type of person that really wants to go deep and get this sort of thing handled, well, I would certainly encourage you to go check that out. Definitely check out the reviews. Definitely check out the actual curriculum and see if it's a good fit for you. I'm always available on Discord if you want to talk there. And with that said, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. I'll see you in a live stream or little video like this soon. Take care.